Lewis, The Athletic, theathletic.com, at Alec_Lewis via X. Plenty about which to chat, but let's start with this. Hit it, Devin.
How much did you feel like they were showing you guys?
Say it again.
How much did you feel like they were showing you guys?
Just stop it right there. You did it again.
I didn't even know that happened.
You got to start thinking about this. It's happened. I mean, maybe you need to go to the Chris Long from Channel 5 school of loudly asking questions. It happened. It's the fourth time this camp.
I didn't even put together when Blake did that in the moment. I didn't even think about it.
Oh yeah, because of the overstimulation yesterday. Joint practices are not great for people like you and I. But
I mean, you had Randy Moss here, you had PJ Fleck here, you had Adam Thielen here.
Yeah, but we got Devin Ward back at KFAN. Devin, hit it again.
How much did you feel like they were showing you guys?
Say it again.
How much did you feel like they were showing?
I feel like it was loud enough.
Blake didn't, and he's the subject.
Maybe Blake heard. You know how sometimes in life you hear someone say something, but you're like, "What'd you say?" But then you actually heard what they said.
If they're asking a hard-hitting, controversial question, and you're trying to get yourself out of a box, so you can think about what you want the perfect answer to be. Devin, hit it again.
How much did you feel like they were showing you guys?
Say it again.
How much did you feel like they were showing you?
He took a deep sigh of like, Alec did it again.
Yeah, because they're talking about it behind the scenes and nobody can hear your questions.
Maybe like the PR staff put them on a bit now, where every time I ask a question, it's like, Jimmy Fallon or whatever, Jimmy Kimmel, they used to do like can you toss a word into the press conference?
Yeah.
No, listen,
listen to how you're talking right now. Why can't you talk like that when you ask questions?
I don't want to bombard them. I don't want to annoy them. I want to be that
was a one-on-one.
No, it wasn't a one-on-one. There were cameras there. That's how you have the audio.
Oh.
But I listen, I have to go back to the drawing board 3 weeks into camp, and I have to evaluate where I'm at and move forward.
Well, we're all trying to get better this time of year, Alex.
It's 8 times since you arrived, but 4 this training camp.
And you would expect going into year 5 that I would have it dialed in, time on task, day to day, best when my best is required. My play style would be better. It's not good enough, and I'm fully capable of admitting it.
You have to just ask the questions a little more loudly.
I don't like annoying these players. I don't. I really try not to. I try to be gracious. I try to be direct. I try to be as generous as I possibly can.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's an emerging problem because it's throwing people off. It's giving us great bits.
No, I'm glad you guys are just enjoying, relishing my decline as a beat writer.
Well, we're starting to get to the point. Yeah. I can put a full mashup together. Yeah. I mean, this is montage worthy.
Yeah, we're 2 away from having a montage.
I mean, you'll probably get him. Caleb Banks the next time I talk to him, if he doesn't ignore my question because I was a little negative on his play Saturday, then he'll probably do it again.
Who did the song "Don't Speak"?
That's Gwen Stefani and No Doubt.
Yeah, Don't Speak or something loud. Change 38 Special from Hold On Loosely to Please Talk Loudly.
You know what I appreciate, though? Everyone has to be held accountable.
Talk loudly.
Everybody has to be held accountable this time of year.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing the journalism thing of holding me to account. And I'm grateful for it.
Well, given the improvement with the lack of split infinitives and non-essential clauses in your stories, and the vocabulary, I mean, there's nothing to get after with your fantastic stories.
No.
By the way, joint practices, just tell me if I'm wrong. This is too much stimulation for people like you and me.
Oh, it's absolutely absurd. But you add in the Randy Mosses and the PJ Flecks and the Pete Bursiches and the Ben Liebers and the Adam Thielens.
Bursich had a $3,500 camera with him.
And the Chad Abbotts and the Cy Edmondsons and the Meat Sauces. You add the fact that The Athletic had 4 writers here yesterday.
Really?
Robert Mays, Mike Sando, Jeff Zaribic. Today we got Mike Silver. So you're having those conversations. Then I know some people on the Ravens staff. So I'm talking to some people on the Ravens staff. It is a lot. It is a lot. How is Jesse Minter? You missed an opportunity.
What stuck out? Because I caught you with the binoculars a couple of times. Mostly you were in what would be the southeast corner of the end zone where the Vikings defense was going against the Ravens offense. Well, yeah, I couldn't find Alec because I was concerned about him. These are overstimulation days for people like me and Alec.
No, I appreciate it.
What stuck out? From yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the offense, I think, is the place you have to start and talk about. I felt like from a pass protection perspective, it was pretty solid. I thought from a run game perspective, Brian O'Neill was very frank afterwards and saying they left some to be desired. And then in the pass game, it felt a little wonky for both quarterbacks until the very end. And I thought the very end, the two throws made, one by Kyler Murray, one by Jaden McCarthy, both were spectacular plays that provided a level of juice that I don't think I have seen from the offense in some time. So I think I'm really curious just to see how they come back today offensively against a defense that has a lot of talent and is moving it all over the place in terms of where they're lining up. Guys.
After reading your story in The Athletic this morning and reading the Brandel and Brian O'Neill quotes, it triggered me to think that, these are kind of like games. So they're going to watch film, they're going to correct with positions, and they're going to come out today trying to run the ball better than they did because it's so important here. Is that a fair way to look at it?
No question about it. And I think the priority, I think it's validating the fact that the first thing out of Brian O'Neill's mouth coming off of the practice field was that he felt like the run game needed to be better. And I think that speaks to the priority that they've placed on that phase of the team.
Yes.
I will also say, you asked me about observations. I mean, I consistently think that Jordan Mason looks phenomenal.
I got out of a joke alive. Chris Long from Channel 5 is actually listening right now.
No.
And he sent me a text, quote, Chris Long School of Loudly Asking Questions, end quote. Love it. And he put the emoji with the tear crying.
Chris is very
thank you, Chris.
Good. He is very good though.
Chris is the bomb.
Like when you're in a press conference and you just you some people, and Chris is a Mizzou grad, so there's immense empathy there with Chris.
So you're saying about Mason?
No, I think Jordan Mason has looked. There are times watching where, and I don't want people to go crazy with this, but whether it's the number thing or his burst through some of these pockets and spaces, you almost have to ask yourself, is that Damon Claiborne or is that Jordan Mason?
Right.
Which is pretty. Nordo's face is scaring me a little bit, but I really just feel like he's taken a step forward. And then this run system that they have incorporated is very much what he became familiar with in his time in San Francisco. So just feel like Jordan Mason is due for a pretty solid year, especially if he can do what he needs to do from a pass protection and pass catching standpoint. So that stood out to me. And then defensively, by all indications, and I'm talking people inside the Vikings building, I'm talking Ravens people I know, defensively, the Vikings did what they've done defensively now for multiple years, and they blitzed them, and they made it really hard for Lamar Jackson, Declan Doyle, their offensive coordinator. So,
can you expand on that specifically with Dallas Turner? Because I'm over here and I'm watching, and I'm going to get to what I saw from Darisaw yesterday that I absolutely adored. But on the far side of the field, that's why PA was surveilling you. I mean, looking at the far field with his binocs. Apparently, Dallas Turner was just ruining everything. That was the offensive line and the offensive operation of the Ravens.
Yeah, and the way I've talked about Dallas Turner this fall, and there's been hype around him now each year heading into the season, but if you just watch individual drills on a day-to-day basis with Dallas Turner, there is a discipline and a motivation level undercurring or underscoring probably every aspect of the way he's carrying himself, and I feel like it has shown on the field. I think for him, the two biggest things that for him to have the successful season that he's going to need to for this defense, it's going to be about, can he physically hold up and setting the edge in the run game? And then from a pass rush perspective, does he have enough tools in the tool belt to be able to technically beat some of these really savvy tackles? And if he eclipses hurdles in both of those facets, he is due for a major year. And it would be really fun to see him have it, and really important to see him have it.
All right, it's weird. You're a little bit younger than me, but I got to check my childlike Rube status with you because you cover the team and you're more level-headed than I am. Christian Darisaw is taking no prisoners. Like in the one-on-ones yesterday, against his size, the defensive front for this team, they got 300-pounders falling out of their pockets on this roster right now. And what I've seen from Christian Darrisaw has been so electric. Like, he's back, he's healthy, he's happy. I've loved every moment of it. What do you think?
Yeah, Christian Darrisaw, I mean, you almost – the topsy-turvy nature of 2025 where, he's warming up for the game against the Bears. He doesn't play in that game. Then he plays in Dublin, and then he plays in London, but he's out. Then he's in. Is he going to play in the Chargers game? And he's out. I mean, it was
terrible.
Helter skelter, Jekyll and Hyde. What's happening with Christian Darrisaw? I think you forget a little bit just the level of dominance that at his peak he can display. And my mind is going down the road of, okay, what happens when he's working in concert in the run game with Donovan Jackson in his second year? What happens when those two guys are working in concert with Josh Oliver and Max Bredesen? Like, that's where I think the vision for what the run game can be at its best behind that left side could be pretty fun. And then what that allows you to do from a play-action pass standpoint really can affect defenses. So so much of what the intent is with the offense and what they're trying to do in 2026 does build off what you're saying, Nordo, a healthy Christian Darrisaw and a really potent Christian Darrisaw.
Now, since we will see you tomorrow in studio for the Friday Football Feast.
Back to back.
Yeah, can't wait. That's fantastic.
It's a famous song, by the way.
We'll make this the last one, and it's kind of segued from the way mostly but we to a certain extent, a week and change ago, we're talking about Ty Felton, where stealing the show at camp. What are you going to do with Ty Felton? Chat with O'Connell before the Giants game. He's like, yep, been great with camp. But in the game, he has to catch it. It's very key to make the routine catching it for Ty Felton. And sadly, there was kind of a routine pass, and he dropped it. And he had a drop yesterday that I bet he wants back. I'm going to segue that conversation now to Miles Price. It's not stopping. He's getting open against, like Nate Wiggins. He put a double move on Nate Wiggins yesterday, their best corner, got himself open, passed didn't go that way. But whether it's Kyler or it's McCarthy or it's Wentz, Miles Price is wiggling open every play.
It's crazy.
He catches everything. What are they going to do with Miles Price?
Yeah, his story, I've said this already and written it, like, Miles Price's story is so cool. I mean, this guy comes in as an undrafted player from Indiana, no expectations at all. Wasn't expected to be the kick returner, wasn't expected to be the punt returner. Obviously, the Rondale Moore situation, which is just tragic to think back on.
Oh, that's right.
Forced Miles Price into that position.
Right.
Then Miles Price throughout the season showed flashes of just electricity as a returner. And now, at his size, to your point, BA, he is catching everything. He is trusted by the quarterbacks to throw him these one-on-one, sideline corner routes in coverage where he's making passes. So
Wentz threw him a fade, and he made a one-handed catch for a touchdown.
And Justin Jefferson called him Jug because his head looks like a jug.
And your story had to explain to me why his nickname was Jug, and then I'm kind of like, wow, that's kind of weird, but okay, let's go with it.
But I've said that. Have you ever had a bad time when a jug's around? You got lemonade in jugs, you got limeade in jugs. You're having good times when you got jugs at a party.
The jugs machines that fire the footballs at players, stand in front of one of those, that'll be a bad time.
I think I know Nordo's laugh.
Hold on.
I just had to do that because it's been on my mind. But no, Miles Price, your question is apt of like,
at a party.
Can you incorporate him? Can he be? And this gets to a broader conversation that we can talk about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got so many pieces offensively. You've got Max Bredesen and his motions. You got Justin Jefferson and getting him the ball. You got Jordan Addison. You got T.J. Hockenson. So really, one of my central questions is, how can you take all of these pieces, all of this offensive infrastructure, what you're trying to do, and simple it or chisel it down to a clarified identity and plan on a week-to-week basis? And I think that's one of the central charges for Kevin O'Connell and this offensive staff. And if they can do that, I think the offense is going to have success, and they're going to be praised nationally for what they've done.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that response? I heard it. That was fine. We will.
You just stopped paying attention halfway.
No, it was a whisper joke. It was terrible. By the way, we will see you tomorrow. Can't wait.
Sure.
And we'll get 2 days of a joint practice recap.
Yeah, it was good.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Great to see you.
Unbeknownst to us, we have a Hall of Famer standing behind us with the new Ravens Vox, Kyle Youmans.
Really nice hat, too.
And we'll see what's going on with all that when we return to KFAN.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Well, not too many problems.
Kyle Youmans, new play-by-play voice for the Baltimore Ravens. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I
brought a special guest.
Yes, and you're very gracious because Rod Woodson, Hall of Famer Rod Woodson. Yes, that Rod Woodson. He's the analyst for the Ravens Radio Network, works with Kyle. Well, he's here, and Kyle brought him over here. Now, Kyle, he's got his family back in Texas, got the triplets back in Texas, MVP wife, whole thing, trying to make friends in the greater Baltimore, Washington area. Might be a little slow to go with it. He with this exclusive Vikings Radio Network perch we have. I mean, we had a KFAN family reunion yesterday. A bunch of people were here. Randy Moss is over there. Coach PJ Flex over there. Well, Kyle hung out with us for 2 hours, and he was just fascinated at this great facility. Mm-hmm. He's like, they bring you guys water up here.
Yeah. They treat them like kings up here. They've got the perch. They've got the best view in the house.
But I also recognize, as Nordo and I jokingly chatted about a little bit earlier, Kyle's still making friends. So he found us for 2 hours just at the time of his life. So to repay us, he brings HOF Rod Woodson to the 9 to noon show to chat some football. What's up, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. What did you think of the joints yesterday?
I wasn't here yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. What are you expecting today?
Well, anytime you do joint practices, which we did way back in the day against the Redskins, which now are the Commanders.
Yep.
We did it yearly. And anytime you go against an opponent, right, somebody different than your teammate, you always go a little bit harder. You get to see a little bit different skill set, whatever position it might be.
Yeah.
The individuals, everybody gets excited about because you're going one-on-one. But somebody's going to win or lose in those battles. But you don't play one-on-one, right? You play 11-on-11. So I think it's a really good way to measure some of your players as a coaching staff to see who rises to the occasion or going against an opponent that doesn't have your same colors. I think that's really critical because it's hard to find that back end of your roster when you're going to get the same guys over and over and over just throughout that little 18 days, 19 days, whatever the camp is nowadays.
Kyle or Rod, with Jesse Minter and the approach you think he's going to take during the season, because clearly, this is a big common thread right now around the NFL, is first and foremost, you're not going to show your best stuff during training camp because you're just not going to. But now with so many fans and stands all over the place, video recording and putting it on social media, coaches and players are talking a lot about it. Like, we got to hold stuff back because you can see scheme and you can learn things by people watching plays on social media. So with that said, with Minter as the new coach, defensively speaking, like we're in NFC country here, Ravens beat the Vikings at US Bank Stadium last year in a pretty close game. But I think of the Ravens like this, just the 10,000-foot view. They can score 30 to 40 every single game. Lamar's different. Bateman and Zay Flowers, nice. Andrews can be really nice. Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry. But there are times the defense seems to have let them down in the past in big, big moments, so they haven't been able to take that next step. So here's Minter. Do you think that's a fair analysis? And how's Jesse going to help it?
I think you're spot on in terms of the way you would look at it. Over the last few years, there was still a brand of intensity and a brand of physicality that the Ravens brought to the table, but it wasn't the same as when Rod was playing or those early 2000 defenses with Ray and Ed and some of those guys on that side of the ball. Jesse's trying to bring that back. He's trying to bring that level of physicality and intensity back on the defensive side, but he's also going to do it with different looks and different disguises and different schematic advantages that he's looking to gain on an X's and O's standpoint. And I think yesterday was a pretty good indication. It's not necessarily the deep play calling that we'll see throughout the season, but there were schemed up safety blitzes.
Yes.
And there was Marlon Humphrey in the backfield off of the nickel blitz. And Rod loves a good nickel blitz every once in a while. The one sack in the first preseason game was a nickel coming in on a blitz. So they're scheming up pressure and they're scheming up different things, even in these joint practices. But when we talked to him last week in our production meetings, one of the things he said was, we're still not showing as much as we want to show.
Yeah.
We're going to hold some things back, even in these joint practices and even in those the preseason games, to the point where week 1 against Indianapolis on the road, it's still a bit of a surprise.
I'll tell you what, when you got Hendrickson standing up on the right side, and then players are jumping around late, because that happens and that's deceptive. When they end up with Hendrickson, Roquan Smith, and Kyle Hamilton on the same side, I mean, hide the women and children with that thing. Holy cow, what do you think?
You're going to have to slide to protection. And if Nnamdi Madubuike comes back, and I have been saying this throughout training camp, if Nnamdi comes back and he's the player that he was prior to his injury, then that defense is a difference maker. Because now you have interior pressure, outside pressure. Back in, you're thinking that Green, who's second year into the league, he's going to get more comfortable of this coming off the edge, using that speed and the power that he has. You have all the tools that you need to be a great defense. And if you watch them, anytime you have a new coach, you have a coaching change, the excitement's there for players because they don't know. Right? They don't really understand it yet, because I think, John was there such a long time. Does it get stale? I can't say that here or there.
Right.
But I know when I was with Chuck Noll for 5 years, at the end of it, it was kind of a little different than when Bill Cowher came in. And when Bill came in, we were like, let's do this thing. And we were flying around in all of training camp. And training camp was still long. I mean, it was way longer than it is today. So we were flying around, but we were excited for the season. And the first year, we won the Central. Back in the day. So, I mean, is that excitement with the Ravens? Absolutely. I think Jesse brings that excitement.
And we saw that yesterday in the joint practice. Rod, I'm excited to see your reaction to it today. There were a couple plays that were made where the sideline, not even the players making the play, who were also celebrating, the sideline exploded like it was a turnover. And to the point where we thought, oh, was that an interception or was that a PBU? Turns out it was just an incomplete pass, but the sideline was celebrating like it was an interception.
I'm surprised you saw that, because you were making so many friends during the 2 hours.
I know, we were sitting there talking the whole time. I like to talk ball. What can I say? And you guys are great people up here. So, and you blessed me with a water bottle and a great view.
And a chair.
And a chair.
And cover.
You did offer all of that, so I had to pay that.
You brought HOF.
I tried my best. I didn't promise him that I didn't tell him he was going to be doing this. But.
All right, so if we only have seven minutes left, I mean, down memory lane we go. I got to go down memory lane for a second, okay? The 2000 Ravens. Okay, Brian Billick, the coach. I got to know Brian a little bit here right when I got to Minnesota in '98. He was the offensive coordinator here. I vividly remember, and I didn't start calling games till 2002, but as a football fan, I was watching it. That Ravens the Raiders playoff game that you guys had, and it makes Rod laugh because who was the tight end? Sharp.
Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp. I think he might have scored the only touchdown.
It was like a slant. It was like
might have been a
yarder,
might have been a busted play.
Crazy.
Right, there he goes.
And I couldn't believe nobody could catch him because he's not that fast. That's my dude, but he's not that fast.
Holy cow, not only with that game, but that team, Dilfer managing the thing the whole year. I mean, that was such a special team. You won the Super Bowl, but how great was that?
Well, I think in a given football season, and I'm going against the Purple People Eaters, the Steel Curtain, right, the 85 Bears, or really 86 Bears who had the scoring record. I believe that we had the best defense for any given year. We shattered the scoring record for the Bears.
Over the 85 Bears.
Over the 85 Bears won the Super Bowl. But the 86 Bears defensively was the number one defense in the league.
Jeez.
So the following year, they were outstanding. We shattered that scoring record by 22 points, something like that, which is never going to be broken. We only gave up 17 touchdowns the whole year.
You got to be kidding me.
And I say this, that I think that year Ray became the leader of arguably one of the best team sports leaders and arguably throughout the history of sports. And then Marvin Lewis just had a great year of just calling the defense.
That was your defensive coordinator?
That was our defense coordinator, and I think over the years he realized who we were, what we could do well.
Yeah.
And each week his game plans were outstanding, and we had so many good players across the board.
Wow.
Young Chris McAllister and Dwayne Starks, all the linebackers were all came in with the draft with Ray Lewis. I mean, we had players across the board. But
was Ed Reed on that team?
Ed was not there yet. Ed got there after I left.
Wow.
So I left in 2001. And they drafted Ed Reed the following year.
Holy cow. Did you guys carry Marvin Lewis off the field like the Bears did Buddy Ryan?
No, we didn't do that. We like Marvin a lot, but he still worked us hard.
Yeah. See now the Bears 85-86 defense. Dan Marshall, just on and on. Leslie Frazier, our dear friend, he was part of it.
Yeah.
Shoot, I think Nolan Cromwell. He might have been a corner. No, Jeff Fisher. Yeah.
Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher was part of it. Fensick and playing.
Yeah.
It was really, really good, but kind of like what Flores does here with the unique nature of defense, that 46 they ran was so different that it kind of elevated the mystique of the defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, I say, and I told Kyle this, that Flores here reminds me of a young Dick LeBeau.
Wow.
Where he does so many different schemes, and he influences a lot of different players. And then I've seen it one time, this was years ago, he had a middle backer run to the middle of the field as a middle third safety and brought the two safeties down. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
so interesting you say that, because Flores has talked about LeBeau either on or off the microphone a little bit, so that's a great point.
Well, I just think great defensive coaches see the talent and see how special he is as a coach and how he game plan. And I think it's wonderful for the Ravens offense to go against that. I know it's going to be vanilla for the most part here, but they're still going against a mind where he can put some good philosophies and different schemes on the field that make you see one thing, and this is what Jesse's been doing.
Yeah.
Right? Make you see one thing, but then do another.
Lastly, here, so who's the team to beat in your division? Is it Cincy with Burrow? Well, no, I think you guys are going to win the division, but I'm like Burrow coming back. I mean, Cleveland's a non-factor with all due respect for now.
Sure.
A-Rod in his final. I mean, who's the team to beat?
I think until you see the Steelers dethroned just because they won the division, they're going to have a target on their back. But I think the feeling with Cincinnati is that offense is so good because they have the weapons. I don't know what they did on defense that's going to really elevate that team. Their best player defensively now plays in Baltimore.
Yep.
From last year and from years prior. So I think it's still Pittsburgh to this point.
Yeah, I'd say it's Pittsburgh. You look at the last several years, and I know since he had some runs, but the last several years is always going to come down to the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of those games in December.
Yep.
Whoever wins that game is going to go to the postseason and win the championship.
Kyle, man, it's great to get to know you better. Have you up here. Thanks for helping the show a couple of times.
Of course.
HOF Rod Woodson.
Thank you, sir.
That was
Appreciate
fantastic,
it.
man. And, until Kyle's wife and triplets get up here, thank you very much for befriending him more than just a work relationship, because
he's the only one I talk to over there.
Well,
That's
I mean, you're 2 hours up here on the perch. You made 15 friends yesterday and got nothing but numbers. Texted me last night at 9:30 to see how I was doing.
I was just seeing if he was having a great night. That's
You're
all.
Great, man. You guys are fantastic. Have fun, all right?
Thanks.
HOF Rod Woodson. That was a surprise cameo with Kyle Youmans, the new Vox for the Baltimore Ravens. When we return, we'll hear from Kevin O'Connell via press conference on KFAN.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas
September 18th and 19th.